our site is a web-based app, so you can actually get it on any device that's accessible to the internet. We currently all use it on iPads. That's the structure that we based it off of. But if you had an Android tablet or something like that, you could absolutely use that as well.
Okay.
I just want to kind of show you some things that are more keyed towards iPads than necessarily computers. The first one being over here on this front page, we have our the home page. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll see some quick actions. Those are there for if you got the tablet in your hand, those are right there at thumb level and gives you quick access to some of the things that you're going to be looking through the most at your shop. We have quick price here, which just takes you right into a intake form where you can either create a quote or a job. And we'll go through all that. Here is a quick link to the new Works tab itself. So this is just where you can go in and you can start building your own jobs and quotes. The quick price tab is like a wizard that walks you through how to use the AI and price it that way and go into a job. And like I said, I'll go over that when we get there. Collect payments. I'm using a test account, so I currently don't have anything, but payment collection, this will have all of the open invoices that you currently have. So anyone that owes you money, it'll populate here with some quick buttons to take payments, send invoices, print invoices, stuff like that. And you'll see how that goes through. I'll go through some steps with some jobs, and you'll see how that'll populate too. From there, the next one is just the jobs board to take you right back to your jobs board. Here on the home screen is just a quick rundown of things that are going on in your shop. You have priority queue, which shows jobs that are moving their way through your shop. And then here's just some little tiles. If you had any projects that were due today, it would pop up here, waiting payment, waiting pickup, stuff like that. So here is the jobs board. So this is to tell you where the jobs are in your shop. We have a waiting for parts list, parts received, in queue, in progress, and ready for pickup. So waiting for parts, the way that works, you send out a quote, the customer approves it, the job falls into the waiting for parts. So that means customers approved the job, customers made the deposit, the shop is just waiting to receive the parts. The next one would be parts received. So as soon as the parts come in, you would move the parts from waiting for parts to parts received. And what that'll actually do is it'll prompt an intake form that can be printed off or accessible throughout the entire duration of the job. So here on the drop-off intake form, just gives you some generic things to jot down. You can put who was received by your staff, who on your customer dropped it off. So if you have big corporations that you work with that maybe have different delivery drivers, you can write in or type in whoever dropped that part off. Here's a piece count location. So if we have multiple pieces, you can add it in there. Storage location and condition notes. Down here, when you create a line item, it'll create it here. So you see here we have Harley frame. If we had Harley frame, Harley bars, Harley wheels, you would have a product line for each of those where you can go in and add a specific note to that. And these carry throughout the process. Like I said, you'll have access to this form throughout the entire duration of that job. Next, you have your coating system. So this is the colors that it's going. For this one, we're doing Illusion Copper Plus and Super Durable Wet Clear. Work instructions. Now this is malleable, so you can change it to whatever that part needs. So for example, we're getting a Harley frame. 9 times out of 10, those things need to be stripped. So we're going to do a chemical strip, off gas, blast. Then we have our base coat, clear, and then final QC. If we were doing a primer, you could add primer in there. Say it was a raw frame that didn't need to be chemically stripped, you can do that. And you can also move these around. So a lot of the time, if something comes in that's like super oily or greasy, I oftentimes send it through an off-gas cycle before we do a chemical strip. And that's where I would indicate that to my guys.
One other thing you can do with this tool is that button that says add step. Say like the customer had a bolt in the frame that was snapped off and they wanted you to drill and tap that bolt out. You could add that into the work instructions because this is also printable at the end as like a packing slip to go with the job.
Okay. Yeah, that looks a little bit different because like there's probably 10 or 15 customers on mine that I had started with, but I think there were some updates that changed you and stuff like that.
Yeah, you were one of the very early shops to get in on this. So there has been a lot of changes since you were in.
I was like, oh, I can't wait to log back on. I bet it's all different.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
come a long
It-
way.
Yeah, it's a completely different beast. Reese and I are working on this day in and day out, damn near 24 hours a day. So, yeah, there's big changes coming and they're coming quick. So, yeah, from here, like Reese said, you can add in your own steps if that project requires anything that you don't see here. Additional work instructions, internal notes, just some extra fields where you can put things in. Additional work instructions will be displayed on the form, internal notes will not be. So if you need something that you want something the customer to see or something, you put it there. If you need something just your shop to see, you'd put it there. And so from right there, you can either hit save or save and print. We'll just hit save. It's going to populate the form for you. Like I said, right here, you can hit print if you want to print it or whatnot. But we'll just hit done here. And now you'll see how that automatically moves that into the parts received slot. So currently from parts received to in queue, there's no really currently with the way the system sits, there's not really a difference between parts received and parts queue at the moment. What that's going to do is it's going to take into place when we get into displays and whatnot. But the way I currently use this is just like a normal jobs board. Everything that I have in my shop is in parts received. And then I go in the morning and I'm like, okay, I want Colton Young's job done. I want Brady Noakes job done. I want Colton Young jobs done. And then that's how my guys know that those are the jobs that I expect them to do today.
Okay.
And then so after queue, now you have in progress. So as soon as you hit start work, that is going to auto send an email to your customer saying, hey, your project just went into in progress, gives them a heads up. That project will be completed here in the next few days. I've found that helps out a ton with customers picking up parts in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah.
It gives them heads up, gives them time to plan for it. And then so from here, once the job has been completed, you can hit mark ready. And then this goes into the job actuals. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. So that's kind of wraps up this for now. We'll go down, jump down here to new work. So the new work tab, I'm sure you're familiar with it. This is where you go in, you can type in a customer and start building an invoice or start building a quote or a job. So here, if you start typing a name, it'll automatically start to search through your customer list. So if you currently have a customer in there, it'll auto populate. If you do not, you can hit add customer, and this will take you to an intake form for a customer where you can create a new customer. And then it'll autofill here, and then it'll give you the option, do you want to create a quote or create a job? So within here, there's one thing that I've noticed people haven't been seeing is the saved drafts right here. So if you go in and you start building a job or a quote and you have to go do something and you hit save drafts, this is where that's going to live. And when you come to it, you have to hit resume work. But we are actually going to be moving this tab into quotes. But just for the time being, just so you know, if you do start building something and something takes you away and you need to save it, it's right here.
Okay.
So, but I would say probably here in the next week or so, you can expect that to be moved down into this quotes tab.
Okay.
So we now have our quote inbox. All of your quotes are going to reside here until they've been converted into a job. So you build a quote yourself and you send it to a customer, it's going to end up here. A customer goes on your website, submits a quote, it's going to end up here. And what ends up happening is if you get a quote in from a customer, you'll get a notification over here. You'll get a notification on your bell here, and it'll be outlined in red saying, hey, this invoice or this quote's new and needs to be addressed. Here's the customer list. It's just kind of any other customer service management system. You have a customer profile. So here's one that I've created for Reese. So here it'll give you all your job history, anything that you've done, quotes, jobs, anything like that will populate here, and you can click into them. It'll pop up like this, and you can click into it, and then it gives you access into the job. Here you can add a new customer. You have a box here for a display name. So if they prefer to go by something else, but for me example, my shop's Twill Powder Coating. Everyone calls us TPC. So I could put TPC here, company name, Twill Powder Coating, and your contact name there. Here's a spot if you want to designate whether it's a retail customer, commercial, industrial, whatnot. And then this box will be filled out. So if you import your customers in from QuickBooks, this will indicate that it was imported from QuickBooks, just so you, for your reference.
Right.
Down here is contact information, just generic information here, email, phone number, mobile, fax, website. Gives you an option to put their address in, financial terms if they're a net 30 customer. What's super cool about this field too, and what's cool about our software is usually when you see fields like this, it's a drop-down box that gives you pre-selected terms. That's where Powder Vault's different, because Vanta is able to read our screen and understand, and Vanta is aware of the software and how your shop operates. You can type in just about anything you want within reason, right? But you could say, this customer, I bill this customer out when he hits his credit limit of 5,000. Or you can say, this customer needs to be invoiced every week or every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. So you don't have to have a predetermined term. You can put something in there that works for you guys. And the next spot here is your tax and compliance. So if you have a customer that's tax exempt, just a little checkbox here. You can write their tax code in and their resale ID number. And then down here is just an internal notes for anything that you may want to indicate to about your customer. Next is the money tab. Now, this is Noah, our AI bookkeeper.
Noah is the bookkeeper. So as a shop that doesn't require QuickBooks, you just need a report for accountant on income and expenses. You can manually log expenses. There's no way to automatically log expenses yet. We do want to do something like that in the future. But essentially, you can get your job reports and income from your business. And then if you have your expenses manually logged, and then some of the bigger shops with QuickBooks, they don't want to stray away from QuickBooks because their accountant is connected to their QuickBooks and whatnot. So you can connect QuickBooks directly. Right now, we're working on the outbound connection with QuickBooks. Right now, it's only inbound. So if you have QuickBooks with 5 years, 10 years of knowledge, when you connect your QuickBooks, all the pricing structures that you've done in the past, all your parts, all of that gets imported. So in QuickBooks, in your parts and services, if you have roll cages and wheels and ATV part prices in there, those will automatically import into your part vault within the Powder Vault. And then your pricing as well for those parts. And then, like I said, eventually we'll have the outbound hooked up where every job you complete, it will automatically log in your QuickBooks and your accountant sees it. And then your bank account is connected to your QuickBooks. So then your expenses are there. So that's just the two ways that's set up currently.
Large bookkeeping. But since I had that fraud case, I quit using it. So now I need something that I can fall back on.
Yeah, essentially this is going to give you the reports you need of jobs that were completed through your software. Like I said, you can manually log expenses if you want, but you can also just keep track of them elsewhere until we get an automatic system built.
Yeah, okay, we'll move on to inventory then. Inventory is a place to obviously keep track of all your powder. Some super cool things about it is we have a system built in that if you create a job that requires a powder that you don't have, it'll actually create a buy list item here for you. And we'll go through how all that works. But to give you a quick rundown of inventory, here is your overview. So you're going to have low stock alerts. Here's powder that I've put in that I've indicated, hey, I want to be notified when our powder gets below this amount of pounds. And that's where you get your low stock indicators here. Next, you have your buy list. Like I just discussed, if you put in a job that requires a powder that isn't in inventory, it'll auto-populate here in the buy list. What you'll also see here in the buy list is suggested purchases. For heavy zinc primer, it says that I'm low. I have 10 pounds. My reorder is at 10 pounds, so that's why it's saying low. Illusion cherry here, I have 0 pounds. My reorder is at 5. And so this stuff right here is super simple. We can just hit, so let's say we need to order Illusion cherry. We can just hit here, add to buy list, and now it's here on our buy list. From here, something that we're going to start getting more into, it's there, it works. I currently use it, but this is all going to be tied into vendors. So when you order powder, you're going to be able to actually order powder from the Powder Vault, but that we don't have that set up just yet. But the way I use it is at the end of the week, I've been putting things in here that I need to order, right? At the end of the week on Fridays, I just hit create a PO and it auto populates everything in here for me. I can select a vendor, I can select an expected delivery date, and then I can go here and add all my how many pounds I'm ordering. And if I want, I can also go in here and add the amount per unit. And then once you hit here, you can create the PO, come over to here, and you hit mark as sent. So the reason why you have to hit mark as sent is because in the future, like I said, we're going to have vendors tied into the system. Yeah. So the AI will send emails to each one of your vendors saying, hey, performance powder coating, I need this color. Yeah. But right now we just have to manually do it. So I hit mark as sent. And then when my powder comes in, I click in here to the purchase order. I receive all items. I verify that I received everything that I got. I hit fill everything. Make sure that everything looks good there and hit receive. And now that receives all that powder into inventory. Yep. So if I come in here, all stock, you can now see where I've received these powders at. Let's see. So if we go here to stock, go back to the overview page. And then the next one here is recent activity. So that's just going to tell you, hey, you completed this job. We pulled 3 pounds of this powder out of inventory. Next one here is material insight. This is something that we have set up with Vanta. It's not set up, or it's not fully wired just yet. But that'll give you material insight, like how fast you're moving through things, stuff like that. Forecasted, this is going to be part of the scheduling system that we have that we're building as well. It will be able to forecast what your powder poundage is going to be after you complete jobs and whatnot. It's tied into an allocation system too with powder, and we'll get to that when we start moving through jobs. And then just a vendor snapshot shows you what powders you have from what vendors. Over here, you have fast actions. So here is something that you can go into, say you needed to change something about your anti-gas primer, you needed to add stock, use stock, adjust count, stuff like that. It's just a quick action to go through and manage that inventoried item. Then over here, we have buy list. This just takes you right back to your buy list. And then over here, we have add item. So this is where you can go in and start adding your own powders. So you have a category right here. We'll just leave it at powders. This category, did we plan on inventorying all that stuff too, Reese? Like chemical hooks, all that kind of stuff?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Eventually we'll add in everything.
Okay. So yeah, right now we'll get all that stuff added in, but for the sake of this, powder's what you want. Powder type, base, primer, clear, and specialty, just another way to categorize the powder that you have. Here in link to color library. So this is an area where if you're ordering currently from Prismatic or Columbia Coatings, you can just type in, let's say, triple bronze. So when you start typing here, this is going to pull from the powder library that we currently have, and we have Prismatic and Columbia on there. So if you're putting in a powder from one of those two, you can just type it in, and now it is linked to the Prismatic triple bronze. It'll auto-populate the name for you. Internal code is just optional. It's something that an area that you can use to keep better track of where things are. Starting quantity, we say we just ordered in 5 pounds. Here you can change the units. And then your reorder is you set it to whatever you want that to be. So as soon as it start getting close to that number, it'll start notifying you, hey, you're low. And when you get beyond that, it'll say, hey, you're out. So for this one, we'll just set to 10 pounds. The next down here is cost per unit. What's cool about this is when you get into job actuals and you start allocating powder to jobs, if you have the cost of the powder in this line, when you go to add that powder into the job, it'll pull that exact price from that powder into your. So for this one, we'll just say it was $12. And then we click here, we just drop Prismatic powders. So we'll just go ahead and add that one in. And now you can see here where it says triple bronze. If you have one that is like a bulk powder, we'll say we went with BK59 from Cardinal Paint. So that's where you can go and add in those that are not a part of the color library. So you can just add the name in, and then same thing, starting quantity, reorder quantity. You can select the supplier. If you're ordering the powder from a supplier that isn't in this drop down, you have a custom fill. You can just click here and type in the powder supplier's name. And then you have a SKU number here. That's all the stuff that you're going to want to fill out, because when we get into vendors and they start sending, and the AI starts sending purchase orders to your vendors for you, we're going to need the supplier SKU. So when you go in and start adding your powders in, I would make sure you go ahead and put those in to be proactive on this.
So it's all done, yeah.
So, and we can add item there. That's how you add items in. So when you click on an item, you have your fast actions here again, but down here you have an option to be able to print a label. So here is a wizard to be able to print labels from, like a label printer. I'm sure you guys use them for shipping and whatnot. Any thermal label printer works just fine. It is fully customizable, so you can go in here and create your own label size. What I've noticed that works best for me is to make sure the QR code is large, text size is compact, and layout mode is QR first. That'll give you the best crisp image of the QR code. So what that'll do for you is, say you are needing to check powder or check something about that powder from your phone, you can actually go in and scan that code and it'll take you to this page and you can make adjustments to that inventory item. Also, on top of that, I'm sure you've come across prismatic powders tags are notorious for falling off. I've got probably 30 bags of powder back there that I have no idea what color they are. Here's a great way that I can go in and have my guys spray a little sample of them and we can start relabeling them.
Right.
So yeah, that goes over inventory. Next, we will move on to the part vault. So you said that you were familiar with QuickBooks. Were you familiar with products in QuickBooks?
Yeah, I used it before. I just haven't used it in a long time.
Okay, so essentially what the part vault is, a products list. So you can go in here and you can create you can create a template. So what's a part that you guys usually do?
Like
a common part.
razor cages.
So yeah, we could do a 4-seat razor cage. Here we can just type in whatever we want this product to be. So we'll just type in 4-seat razor cage. Here you can select a category. We already have one in here for power sports, but if you wanted something, let's say, that just says Polaris, you can go ahead and create your own tag that says Polaris, or you can choose from one of the pre-selected ones we have here. And then here is your default price. So what you're going to want to put here is the price that you would charge for a single stage coat. So a raw cage, blasted, powder, what are you guys normally at?
Usually 550.
Okay, 550.
Probably too low. I have no idea on those right now.
Yeah, and we're just using these numbers just so I can show you. And then here you can select your metal type. So, these are always steel. We can require it to be blasted. And then we have a default primer and a default clear coat. So if you always do, no matter what, steel, we always do primer. You can go ahead and here you can add in zinc primer, heavy zinc primer, epoxy, whatnot. And then the same thing for a clear coat. Here's a tab where you can just put in some dimensions. AI does read this. So if you have dimensions of a cage or roughly 10 feet by 5 feet, we can put that in there. It just helps AI learn. And then just another spot for internal shop notes. Product intelligence and product differentials. This is for scheduling. This isn't something that we have fully implemented just yet. I wouldn't really worry about any of this right off the get-go. But the next part here is public catalog. So this is super cool. What we can do here is we can show this on a public site. We can give a brief description of it. So what I do here is on mine, I have raw cage, no roof or windshield, because I charge additional for roofs and windshield. So I'm just going to put a brief, put a brief description in there, raw cage, no roof or windshield. And we're going to price this per item. And the sort, I don't think holds any merit just yet. I am not exactly sure what that does, Reese. I've played with it. I think it's just the way that it's sorted in the categories.
Yeah, so if you have a category with a lot of options in it, you can basically sort them. Number 1 going down through to the last one.
We should probably, do you think we can make that to a point where it can auto detect how many are in there and auto populate the next one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, just some, and then image URL. So if you take a picture or you want just an image of what that is, you can add it there. So after you have all that filled out, you can have this show on the customer quote form, and then you can have it show the starting price. And I'll show
Okay.
you exactly how that works. So right now we're just going to go ahead and create that template. So you see it here now, 4-seat razor cage, but you can see how all these other ones, they say public, quote form, price
Yeah.
visible. This doesn't have that because you have to make the category public first. So if you come over, here's all your categories. You can see right here, the power sports, we put it under Polaris. So you can see where Polaris is locked. So you come up here, you manage categories, and this is where you can make categories either public or not public. So for example, we can make this, convert it now to where it says public, and we hit done. So now this Polaris category is public. So we have to click back into here, go to edit, and we have to make these, just click these boxes again. But going forward, if you put something in that category of power sports or Polaris, because it's already public, you only have to do this once. I just wanted to show you this because I ran into this issue before too, where I'm like, this should all be visible, what's going on? And then I realized that we had to make the category visible first. So yeah, now once we save that, now you can see where you have all your tags there. So now you know that item is going to be visible to your customers. The next page here is the color vault. So what the customers see on their facing website, we're actually going to be able to see here. So when this is fully built out, we're going to have access to the color vault. We're also going to have access to being able to generate those pictures that customers are able to. Then the next is going to be the commerce page. So I don't know if you guys sell any kind of apparel or if you guys sell wheel cleaners, microfibers, stuff like that. This isn't something that's fully developed just yet, but it is coming. It's an area where you can add merchandise, wheel cleaners, whatever you may want to offer to your customers. So the next one is the community page. So the community page is going to is just like Facebook, but it's within the Powder Vault. So you can post on here, you can share pictures, you can share knowledge, you can ask questions. This is, what's that?
Like a chat with other.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We've noticed that the environment around Facebook is very toxic. So we're trying to give people an outlet to be able to still collaborate
On
without.
Facebook, and you ask one question, like they just roast you. I get so mad.
Yeah, you get slaughtered.
I know. I always back people up. I get in fights all the time. I'm like, don't be ugly.
Yeah, I don't understand. We all started there at some point. We all had those questions. Yeah. So that's why we created this community page, is somewhere that we can, like-minded individuals can go and collaborate.
Chat.
What's going to be coming in the future is a regional based tab. So we'll have somewhere where you can click and jump into a regional based chat. That'll be an opt-in feature. So when you sign up, when we get that implemented, it'll say, hey, do you want to be a part of the regional community? And what that'll do is we'll set it to whether it's statewide, region-wide, whatever that may be, depending on how many shops we're getting in and how populated that region is. AI will tell us, yeah, hey, we need to narrow this down or whatnot. But this will give you an area where you can talk to powder coaters around you. I don't know what kind of relationship you have with them, but most of the powder coaters out here in Utah, I have a good relationship with. It's not really a competition. We help each other out. So
it took a little while to bring a few on board to not be competition, but we all love each other now.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
It took a little bit.
Yeah, if we're all at each other's throats, this industry is not going to go anywhere. So yeah, that's super cool. So what, my idea behind this is, for example, just like that, you have, you need powder, or you need help, or, some guy just walked into your shop and tried to screw you guys out of money. You can go into this regional tab and you can say, hey guys, this Joe Schmo came in and was talking bad, blah, blah, blah. And you can go in and say, hey guys, I need this powder. So now you're not having to reach out to every single one of these shops or send them a text. If they're on the powder vault, all you have to do is jump in there and say, hey, this is Chantel from Performance Powder Coating. I need this color. And, people that are on the powder vault will be able to see that and help you out that way. So the next one is going to be the marketplace. So the market, what our vision is with the marketplace, as you can see, it's not fully developed just yet, but our vision for the marketplace is going to be for trusted vendors to be able to sell products directly to shops. So that's going to look like chemical strippers, 3D printed tools, plugs, masking tape.
I work really close with a couple companies. One of them is WireCare. I don't know if y'all have heard of WireCare, but wirecare.com sells, like, they work with David and they sponsor him. But getting the relationship with them now, they have like all your heat related connectors and butt connectors for your oven and wiring and seals and all that I needed for my oven a long time ago that I couldn't find. So stuff like that would be good because people like essentially could go shop and find powder related companies.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. And that kind of, you already have experience with them, you trust them, like, so that's kind of how this would work too on a referral basis, like, this is who I use, this is who I trust as a shop. And it's not necessarily going to be overloaded. Like, we already have somebody we're going to be using for chemical stripper, and that kind of thing. So yeah, by all means, that's exactly where this is headed.
So yeah, that is the marketplace. And then next you have Vanta. So Vanta is the AI inside the Powder Vault. Powder Vault is Vanta. Vanta is Powder Vault. So look at this screen as your Chat GPT on steroids, specifically for your business and the powder coating industry. So Vanta, you can go in and start talking to Vanta just about anything. It gives you a couple things you can start with, and you can introduce yourself. I know it sounds a little crazy, but go in and introduce yourself to Vanta. Tell her, my name's Chantel Strickland. I'm the owner of Performance Powder Coating. It's a little crazy to think about, but you do want to build a relationship with Vanta, because she's going to be able to tell you bottlenecks in your business. She's going to be able to say, hey, the last time you priced these wheels, you didn't make money, so maybe we should price it here. You can take pictures of surface contamination and upload pictures to her and say, hey, what do you think could be the problem with this? Cure schedules, troubleshooting, vehicle or equipment maintenance, like anything you could imagine, you can ask Vanta. So, and then on top of that, you can also go in there and ask Vanta about reports and stuff like that, about the business as well. Next here is the website control. Do you currently have a website?
Okay, so I started building my website ages ago and I didn't finish it. And then I was really starting to get on it when I found the Powder Vault. So I told Reese, I was like, I really don't want to finish building my website because this is really what I was trying to, not to this in depth, but like a landing page with a very detailed quote, pricing, stuff like that. And so I was like, now I don't have to do that. Really, the only thing for my website that I really want is like a place everybody can go, quotes, and then merch. I was talking with him about trucks and stuff, but I've been really watching it close and it's just not like our target right now. It's not profitable for us right now. So I've just pushed those off. But like merch, I want to push merch, and so that part of it will be good because that's really the only other thing that wasn't on here that I was looking for was being able to push merch.
And just to add to,
is there a gallery on there?
Yeah, there is a gallery. The gallery, you can upload pictures and videos. And that works good. And to add to this too, obviously right now we're focusing on finishing the basics of this software to make it usable for shops. But in the end, I'm not sure how familiar you are with Shopify, but you have website template. So you can change your website to any template type. That's the end goal for this. That way everybody doesn't have the same website. Right now we only have one. Everybody has the same website. But in the end, you'll be able to customize and build your own templates or choose from other templates that are already built.
I was curious about that because I was like, wait a minute. I want to tell all my friends about this website, but I don't want them to have this my website. Like, I don't want to share the same thing because we are all very close, but we're all also don't want like the community thinking that we're all the same, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So for right now, it's just one standard website that does the job. And in the end, that'll be the classic website. People can still choose that one, but you'll be able to create your own templates very easily, as well as choose from pre-made templates.
So I have my regular just like website that I was building from scratch, and then I also have a Shopify because I was messing around with a bunch of stuff, and I had built a website for David's merch, and it was so simple on Shopify that while I was doing the website, I also did the Shopify to kind of see how I could merge them. So it's all there. I just
And one common question we get with people that have a website and they don't want to get rid of that website, you can always use your regular website and then put a get powder coat quote button and have that button linked to the link that is your Powder Vault site.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they'll click that and it'll load your color vault on your Powder Vault site and they can progress through it.
I do either or, but it's easy for me either way.
So here in the website editor, you can go through all these tabs. Here's your site structure, your identity, go in and add your logo. This is something that you're going to want to make sure you do is go in and add your services. This will link right to a button where people can go on your website and get a quote for powder coating or sandblasting or Cerakoting. And then, yeah, just flip through all these. There's tons of customizable fields in here. You can change all these boxes. Here's your about field. You can go in and tell your customers about you. Here is the review section. We don't have that fully implemented just yet, but this is going to be an area that your customers are going to be able to leave you honest reviews right to your website. And then, yeah, contact information. Here's a spot you can put your social media stuff in. Here is your galleries. You can go in here, you can add pictures, you can add videos, you can add brief descriptions of what's going on there. And then you can also feature this media. So this, if you click that button, it takes that picture and puts it at the top of your gallery.
Oh, okay.
So
what changes we were talking about is there on the customer quote? No, stop.
On the customer facing website.
Sorry, my dog's in here. Yeah, like no, not. Oh yeah, on the customer facing website where they click quote and they go in. That was the only thing I was running into. My older customers, which is a lot because we do a lot of hot rods, we're just like, this is too much. It's asking me if I need primer or this, and I don't know what those things are. And I'm like, oh, I understand that. But I think Reese, you had already added quick quote button where they didn't have to
so
go prompts.
I simplified it, Colton. If you want to hit your website button and go to the customer facing website, now you can choose from 3 different price packages. So the biggest thing with this is getting it across to them that adding primer and clear benefits the longevity of the powder. It's also a point where we can upsell it. But as you can see here, this changed a good bit. So you enter in the customers. Yeah, if you want to, Colton, just enter in some customer information there, pick a part, and we can also show you how the part vault actually works here as well. So when you make a part in the part vault show on the website, for instance, wheels, your AI doesn't need to be pricing wheels consistently when you have your wheels in the part vault. So go ahead and click the color vault there, Colton.
Oh, you want to go?
Yep, and just pick any color and start a quote with it. Use this color in my quote.
Are you familiar with this? Preview this color on my part.
Yes, I am. That
Okay.
thing is that's awesome.
Okay.
The kids, like the younger generation with the truck, because I build trucks and just not, I'm doing the word of mouth right now only just because of like stressful, but they were all over that. Maddox even was asking me earlier, he's, where is it? And I'm like, just give me a minute. I got to get them to update everything. And so
that is one of the highest data usages we have with this system. People love it. Customers sit on there all day long playing with it, seeing different colors look like on their vehicles. And so, and that's, so now too with that, I don't know if you use that in a while, but if you upload a picture of your truck, if you just want the wheels to change color, you can put in the description, just the wheels, or even if you want to see what the body would look like with that color on, you can tell if it changes the body, track bars. Yeah.
So yeah, from here, your customer will pick from the categories. We'll go ahead and do that cage. So you're going to see your customers only need to fill out the areas that have this red asterisk.
Yeah.
So we'll just say raw cage. And I'm just going to put one in there. Okay, we got all that. Oh,
Easier. I was trying to push Abby to use it more, and I just couldn't. I don't know why I couldn't get around for it, but that's a different thing. But to not have to ask all the questions like, okay, what's your name? What's your phone number? What color is it? What's on it? What size is it? They're like, I don't know. It takes forever.
yeah, absolutely. And so funneling your customers through the website, I think is going to be the best way to get rid of that because it's going to ask them for all that information. But Reese, I don't know if you wanted to follow up on this.
Yeah, so this is what I pretty much came up with for that. They don't have to choose their clear. They don't choose what clear you use. They don't choose what primer you use. All they do is choose what they want. So on this here, your standard comes with 6 months warranty. If you go into your settings, you can change your warranties. You can actually get rid of it completely if you just want to offer the standard, enhanced, and premium, but you don't want to have a warranty policy attached to it. Me personally, in my shop, this is what I go for. So standard 6 months warranty, one layer, that's a color coat out the door, shows a performance graph on that. The enhanced would be a primer and a base coat. And then the premium would be the primer, base, and clear all in one, which I give a 3-year warranty with. So this was my fix to that. But with anything in this software, and this is always going to be the main goal of this software, is this software is going to be driven by the shops. So if people have better ideas or they want to pitch something, I'm always open.
Yeah, that's a good idea with the warranty because I've went back and forth on my warranty multiple times trying to figure out what works. Like offer less and they're like, why? Because does it not last that long? Or offer too much and then
I've been using this warranty policy for the last 5 years, and I can honestly say I have never once gotten anything back.
Yeah, I don't get a lot back. I mean, I think I had a set of headers come in and some wheels that I'm dealing with on chrome, but it's chrome, so that's a whole different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a whole new beast.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, the customer can go through and pick exactly which package they want to go with. So we'll just say enhanced for the sake of this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and request, and now we're going to see that request in Powder Vault. But I want to kind of go through everything here on the website before we touch it or before we go back there. So here's the color vault. We just showed you how to go through that. They pick a color, go through the quote form. Here is just where they can start going to a quote. And then here is the gallery that we had talked about. So you can upload all your pictures in there. And then here would be where the store is for your merchandise when we get that uploaded or when we get that finished being built out. And then your about page and then a contact page.
Awesome.
One thing I want to add to this is the reviews section. The reviews isn't fully built out yet, but the structure behind reviews when it comes out will be similar to what you find with Google reviews, Airbnb, VRBO, and softwares like that. So your customers aren't going to be able to leave a review unless they had a job done by you. After a job is completed and put in the ready for pickup status, they will have a prompt that will take them to a page where they can fill out a review on that project. Okay. Reviews are not able to be edited or deleted by the shop. This is a trust layer that is built between the customers and the shops. So if bad reviews are left, that they stick. Now, obviously, same thing with other platforms. You get retaliatory reviews and you can prove it. That's a little different. But that trust layer is very important to us with the Powder Vault.
No, that's fair. Absolutely. But also, I like the customer aspects. I think I've got 2 1-star reviews and they were never my customer. Like one of them, he called like on a Monday when we're not open on Mondays. He got mad. He didn't reach us. So he left a bad review. And the other one just says stupid. That's all it says. So it's like, but I'm working on getting those down. I had 2 questions. Do I need to sign up? I did sign up for Stripe. I'm not using it right now. Is that still the payment platform or has it?
Yeah, so where we're at with that is Stripe is going to remain the only payment platform. What we're going to do is, it isn't implemented yet, we're going to make it that shops can elect that if they use the Stripe, the customer can pay the 3.2% fee if they want to pay online through Stripe. You're still able to run payments in your shop with your manual payment machine as well as collect cash. But for the time being, Stripe's going to be the only merchant in here. Eventually, we will add authorize.net, which will allow you to connect your bank accounts. But for the time being, to be honest with you, Colton and I are on this thing every day, all day. As we're on this now, I'm listening, but I'm still working here. We got a lot of work to do for this software to make this software premium. So little fixes like that, as well as we've been reached out to by powder manufacturers in China and Australia, and they want to sell this program over there as well. So making this multi-languages, multi-currency, that's on the list too. So there's just a lot of things to do. So for the time being, we're just going to leave Stripe the only one.
I'll jump on there and I'll email if I have any questions and kind of update everything and look at all the changes. But I'm still just over the moon excited about it.
Yeah. Any questions at all you have, Chantel? I'm sorry, say that again.
That I've just been missing. I was on the road for almost a month.
Oh, that sounds.
It was very fun, but it was very exhausting. And then I came back to the shop. I'm like, oh, we got business to work.
Right. Yeah. If you have any questions whatsoever, I honestly don't care if it's 10 o'clock at night or 4 o'clock in the morning. There is a good chance one of us are on the software at that time.
That's what Reese said. One time I messaged, so sorry to message you late, but this is when I work. He's, oh no, I'm working. It's okay.
Yeah. So any question you have whatsoever, if you get to a point where you're just like, hey, I don't know what to do here, give me a call. Seriously, I will drop what I'm doing and get you worked through that, because we do know it's in production. Reese and I are changing this every single day. So there may be instances that you come across something that's put you in a chokehold and you can't move, but let me know before you get to that point.
I definitely will. So once I upgrade that in a little while this evening, I'm going to start it over the weekend, start moving all my customers over. I got it to a point where I want to start it fresh so that I can have true numbers in my system and true data coming out of the powder vault versus having to backtrack and try to be like, oh, that's not nothing. So definitely keep you updated because I'm going to start moving them over today.
So something to keep in mind, I know you said that you went away from QuickBooks, but if you do still have access to there, or you can get your customer list, you can import your customer list.
Okay.
So I know that's a lot of data entry depending on how many customers you have, but there is an option to just import your customers from QuickBooks into Powder Vault, and it would just be your customers. You don't have to connect QuickBooks to Powder Vault.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you need help, I can walk you through that as well.
Okay. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Thank
you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Colton pretty much he knows the system like the backside of his hand. Primarily my experience now is on the back end. So Colton will know all the nitty gritty detail questions, but I'm always here too if you have issues.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Yep. Not a problem, Chantel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.